Jennifer Lopez says Ayo Edebiri apologized with tears in her eyes for resurfaced comments. Back in 2020, during an episode of the podcast Scam Goddess, Ayo Edebiri, then a young comedian finding her voice, made some sharp remarks about Jennifer Lopez's music career. Her whole career is one long scam. She thinks she's on multiple tracks, but it's not her. In the clip, Edebiri criticized Lopez's voice and authenticity, implying that Lopez relied heavily on production and that much of the vocal work attributed to her wasn't hers to that time. The remarks caused a stir, but the world moved on. Until, nearly 4 years later, the clip resurfaced, just as fate would have it, when the two were scheduled to appear on the same episode of Saturday Night Live. Suddenly, what had been a bad joke on a podcast became a headline again. Fans, media outlets, and social platforms lit up with reactions. Some defended Lopez. Some sided with Edebiri's right to critique. Many questioned whether the comments were fair commentary or disrespect. She was calling out pop star culture. But you drop lines like one long scam about a legendary performer, in 2020 or 2024, it doesn't matter. Your words have weight. The resurfacing threatened to overshadow their joint appearance on SNL, but what followed was unexpected. Moments before the cameras rolled, Edebiri went backstage to Lopez's dressing room. According to Lopez, the 28-year-old actress, now an Emmy winner, was mortified and very sweet. She came to my dressing room and apologized with tears in her eyes, saying how terrible it was that she had said those things. Edebiri, hearing Lopez perform during soundcheck, realized maybe her words had been harsher than intended, and the impact heavier than she had imagined. She reportedly said, "I'm so f***ing sorry, it was so awful of me." A tear-filled apology, a raw moment of regret. Not a public stunt, but a vulnerable human acknowledgement. Lopez's reaction? Surprisingly calm. She said she wasn't shaken. "I've heard similar things said about me throughout my career," she noted, so it really didn't affect me. For someone who has navigated decades in the spotlight, hearing criticism, gossip, and open doubt, this was old territory. But she appreciated the sincerity of the apology. "She felt really badly and loved my performance because we had just done my soundcheck and she actually got to hear me perform. And so, the moment passed, not with public outrage, but with quiet reconciliation behind closed doors." In the age of podcasts, streaming and viral clips, words once spoken offhandedly can come back to define, or haunt, people. What once seemed like a casual joke suddenly becomes a public offense. This story highlights something bigger: the permanence of digital speech. Comedians, actors, even everyday people, anything you say can resurface. But it also shows the power of owning up. A tearful apology. A career legend accepting it without drama. A moment of empathy amid tabloids and headlines. You don't always need grand gestures. Sometimes, a sincere apology and grace go a long way. A podcast from 2020. A resurfaced clip. A night of shared stage and complicated history. But at the heart of it, two artists, two humans, one moment, one apology. For some it was drama. For others, it was growth. For Lopez, it was understanding. For Edebiri, humility. And for the rest of us, a reminder that fame doesn't erase the need for compassion. Jennifer Lopez revealed that Ayo Edebiri apologized for old remarks made about her with tears in her eyes ahead of their Saturday Night Live stint. Earlier this month, the pair featured on the weekly comedy show together, with Edebiri hosting while Lopez provided the musical entertainment and promoted her new album, This Is Me Now. Ahead of their appearances, years-old comments that Edebiri made about Lopez's musical talent and career resurfaced, with the star of The Bear joking that she does not provide her own vocals on her songs. In a new interview, Lopez, 54, shared that she and the 28-year-old actor-comedian had cleared the air ahead of the show's broadcast, and that Edebiri had apologized profusely for her words. "She was mortified and very sweet," Lopez told Variety. "She came to my dressing room and apologized with tears in her eyes, saying how terrible it was that she had said those things. She felt really badly and loved my performance because we had just done my soundcheck and she actually got to hear me perform. She was just like, 'I'm so f***ing sorry, it was so awful of me.'" In a 2020 episode of the Scam Goddess podcast, host Lacey mostly remarked that Lopez's career had been one long scam. In response, Edebiri quipped, "Well, that's the thing. She thinks she's on multiple tracks, but it's not her. I think she thinks that she's still good, even though she's not singing for most of these songs," she continued. A lot of the write-ups of the songs will be like, J.Lo didn't have time to make it to the studio. Like, J.Lo was busy. Doing what? Not singing, obviously. Lopez added that the recent Emmy winner's comments had not fazed her. "It's funny," she said. "I've